Okay, this is a homemade hot wire cutter that threw together to cut foam for doing lost foam casting. And I don't have a good, if you look down here, I don't have a good power supply, so I'm using a battery charger on 2 amps, 12 volts, which is probably more like 13 volts. So this thing gets like a little extra hot, so I have to disconnect it quite often. I don't want to smoke my little wire here, but I'll fix that as time goes. But I'll show you, basically plug this dude in, and we're going to reduce the length of this sprue on this deal here. So once this thing warms up, oh wait, let's see here. The kids might have knocked a wire off. No, they're hooked up. Okay, let's see. Like that, it's that easy, folks. Okay. This is I decided to make a belt buckle. Ran a shop for 8 years called Adams & Sons Restoration and Service, doing vintage and classic cars, motorcycles. So this is just a first attempt to see how this process works. I've done quite a bit of green sand casting with aluminum. And so this will be the first attempt at lost foam technology here. So I made this simple pattern. It's going to be a belt buckle, and then attached a sprue to it, and it'll set in the sand about like that. And we'll go through that process. We'll make another video on that. But what I need to do today, now that I've cut the sprue to length, is I have a bucket over there of a slurry of lightweight drywall joint compound, non-setting, and I've thinned it out with some water. And one of these fellows on YouTube talked about coating these things with this thin layer of plaster, basically, and that it slows down and makes it more even as far as when the hot molten metal meets the foam, it gives you a more controlled and uniform melt, we'll call it. As this stuff vaporizes and melts away, it goes into the sand, into the dry sand that you've packed it with, to vent the mold, basically. So, now that we've cut it, we'll go over here. Then, here's the bucket of stuff. I mixed this up the other day, and I think I got it a little runny. But basically, all we need to do is coat it on there enough to change the color of it. We don't really need to pack it on too bad. We just don't want it to be green anymore, you know. The foam just needs to get a light coating of this plaster, and we're going to hang it up and let it dry. And I may come back and put another coat on it. I don't know, but they say you don't really need to cake it on there. It doesn't need to be super thick. Just needs to coat it. So maybe mine's a little thin. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess I'll see how it looks in a day or two. Oh. Well, there we go. I guess I could dip it, but this pattern's so small that and thin. I don't know. I was afraid it was going to probably break it. And you don't have to worry about a perfect finish according to these gurus. You don't have to worry about a perfect finish because it's the foam. The finish of the foam is what's going to make the aluminum or whatever you're pouring, So, I mean, I guess I could ladle it on thicker, but I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to just get it uniform, I guess, and make like a crust on there, I guess. And that's going to regulate how fast the melt process happens and how fast it melts into the sand, or the foam vaporizes, we'll call it. So, anyways, there's that. Let me get a deal to hang it on. Had a piece of wire over here. What did I do with it? Gosh dog. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Yeah, you got to be really organized. So I'm just taking this daggum sheet metal screw and running it in there. Got a chunk of wire on it. I'm going to bring it over here. This is my kid's high dollar tubing bender for making handlebars and motorcycle frames and things like that. And I'm using it to hang my stuff off of. How about that? 'Cause he messes up my shop. I might as well use his stuff, right? There we go. So anyways, gonna let that sit there and drip dry for, I don't know, a day or two or three, whatever, come back when it's dry, maybe add another coat, maybe not. And then we're gonna fire up the furnace and pour some aluminum and see if it turns out. I've done a lot of sand casting in the past. Gosh, I've been doing sand casting since the early 90s. Probably before a lot of these people kind of got in on the bandwagon. I was making custom points covers for Harleys and selling them in Iron Horse magazine back in the 80s, 90s, whatever, early mid-90s. Sold a few of them, a bunch of them, not enough to make a living at it, obviously, but it was fun. And if you come over this way, I'll show you one we cast not too long ago. Being that we're from Texas, these are some that were cast, fairly recently. My son's kind of got into it, and these were cast, and they've had a rough finish so that they fit the nose cone. They have yet to be drilled and polished, of course. And being from Texas, hey, these are made from recycled aluminum, mainly old broken Harley cases or Harley pistons. So they're, it's a Harley part, right? So anyways, been doing those for years and years and years. So green sand casting is not something new for me, but lost foam is. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't know. Now, we screwed up the video earlier, so we had to turn off the music because we didn't want to get in trouble with the YouTube police. But if you come back this way, show you the hot wire cutter. I don't know. This is just homemade. I put a makeshift fence on here, piece of resistance wire. And I did not have a good power supply or a dimmer. I'm planning on putting a dimmer up here, but I'm using a battery charger down here on the floor to cut foam, and it works pretty good. It's maybe a little hot, you know. But once she warms up, it'll go, man. It'll go like crazy. Let's see here, make sure that that's hooked up. Here we go. Starting to warm up, I think. No? Huh. Yeah. Let's see here. There it goes. You know, cutting foam's kind of fun. I mean, didn't take long to build one of these things, and you can cut out any piece any shape you want. Really, kind of fun to use. Like I said, mine's a little hot, so I unplug it. I'll have to. That'll be a future project. Here's another project that's part of this whole foam casting deal. Is a pouring basin. This is made from quick setting plaster, like a hot mix. I guess sets in 20 minutes or something. And then I'm going to fire it in an oven, run it up to like 400. I don't know if this will last one time or 5 times. I may come and fill some of these holes and divots with some more. You know, I'm not done with this yet. It's still drying. But as you can see, I made it to fit the 1-inch square sprue, and you know, be able to pour the aluminum and keep a head pressure to my casting down, my mold down in there. So we'll see how that works too. You know, I've been watching YouTube like the rest of you guys, and trying to do things. Here's a failed attempt, the first attempt of one of these, and my process didn't quite work so hot. But live and learn, right? So anyhow, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope it helped you if you're doing some of this stuff and you're maybe not finding the answers. Maybe I inadvertently gave you an answer you didn't know you wanted. I don't know. But thanks for watching, and tune in next time. We'll try to cast that thing and see if we can make a belt buckle out of it, and see how that works, you know. And in the meantime, you know, keep doing stuff and having fun.